Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TriVersity Talk. I am Steven Bloomer-Teague.
And I am Wendy Stewart Kaplan. And here we are again, Steven.
I tell you, a week flies by.
It sure does. I'm loving your location tonight, Steven. Are you in the TriVersity Center?
I am back in the center. I've been taking a little hiatus from the center. I've been doing shows from home, but we have some guests from Virginia in my studio, so I decided to come back to the center. And I mean, this is pretty great. Richard redid the center, and now this is like the perfect studio space here.
It looks really incredible. I love our banner, and I see you've got our t-shirts for sale.
I do. I mean, we have t-shirts for sale. These are the most basic t-shirts we have, but we have all kinds of cool shirts and merch. So if you want to go to TriVersityCenter.org, that's a great way to support us, support our website, and I mean, yeah, shop away.
Absolutely. So, Steven, how did you enjoy the Ms. Stanhope pageant, which, by the way, our very own Bell Pepper won?
Well, that made it more enjoyable. I mean, you always want the person you want to win, and when they do, it's fun. But I mean, I pretty much went in thinking it was hers to lose, but she had some pretty stiff competition. So I really enjoyed the show. And
yeah, great. It was a great show. It was like going to like RuPaul's Drag Race, but a small town version of it. My favorite part, of course, of the show, everybody had to do like a death drop. Whoa, Bell Pepper, man, she went down. I don't
think she did a split or anything. I just think she literally flung herself to the floor.
She flung herself on the floor. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, girl, ain't getting back up. She popped back up.
She did. She hopped back up, good as new. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what drag is all about. Absolutely. So speaking of all about, oh my gosh, tonight's guest, I have so many great things to say about him because he is a personal friend and someone I'm very excited to have on TriVersity Talk. He is a singer, amazing singer, a voice like an angel, a songwriter, a philanthropist. He describes himself as a towering gay Ecuadorian man. Okay, I'll take those adjectives. And he's been extremely influenced by pop culture. And when you hear him sing, you'll understand why. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome the one, the only, Riqi Vélez.
Hi.
Hi, Riqi.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, Steven.
How are you this evening, Riqi?
I am good and excited to be here. You know, ready for the questions. I'm like,
You have your headphones on, you're bopping back and forth, ready for the question. But Steven and I, we're not really like question. Steven, we like to make casual chitty chat and banter, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna banter away with you, Riqi. First of all, how was your day?
My day was stressful, but at the end, it was worth it. We're putting together an LGBTQ youth prom for tomorrow, and we had but 4 people, and now everyone's a late RSVPer. So now we're overflowing with youth.
So
fantastic.
And see, I'm so happy you brought that up because TriVersity, we have not been able to do it for 2 years, but we are known for our prom.
Oh, awesome.
Steven, how many people did we have at the last prom?
Gosh, I'm very bad with that. But
it was like 120.
Yeah, something around there. It was a nice solid number. And
I love, Riqi, that you're doing that. It's so important. When we first started doing our prom, our organization was servicing a lot of the kids in the area. And the directors then came up with an idea to do this prom. Mm-hmm. And of course, the kids were all excited because a lot of them did not want to go to their own prom. And this is something we need to raise awareness about, that it can often be uncomfortable, or schools, and you know about this too, Riqi, I'm sure, put out these mandates that you have to have like an opposite sex date or something.
Yes, that's
just
true.
Terrible.
Especially in the South.
Yeah, I was about to say, we luckily, I don't think, live in an area where that happens too often.
Right.
But it does happen without question.
Wait, Steven, you're from South Carolina. Did that happen when you were in school?
We would have been beat mercilessly if we even attempted to do something like that. I mean, it was bad. I mean, it's just not something you would have done. But that being said, there was no rule against it. You just knew it would never happen. It's really sad and unfortunate. But I don't think there are rules in place there now. And I think it's easier to do now. So we have made some strides.
Right.
One of the things we also found, Riqi, we have had a tremendous amount of adults come to the pride, come to our prom.
Yeah, of course.
Right. I love that you said, of course. But initially, when we came up with the idea, there were members in our LGBTQ community that were like, well, that's a little weird. I feel a little funny. Guess what? A lot of the couples that came, the adult couples, never got to go to their own prom.
Of course.
How about that? Right.
Or they did and didn't go with the partner they really wanted to go with.
Right.
Absolutely. You know,
Right.
I went to 2 proms, but they wouldn't have been the dates I would necessarily choose now.
Yeah, I went with a friend of mine, but while I was dancing with her, I was looking at the guy who I wanted to be with, and he was with his girlfriend. But now he's married to a beautiful man in Chicago. Whatever.
Oh, that's great. Well, we love that he's happily ever after. So what made you decide to do this prom, Riqi?
Well, so Catalina Cruz. Well, first I have to tell you, I work for ACQC, nonprofit organization in Queens.
And what does that stand for?
AIDS Center of Queens County.
Got it. Okay.
And Catalina Cruz, one of the assembly members of Queens, I think District 39, she gave us $6,000 specifically to put on a prom, and she gave us some more to do an LGBTQ youth day camp. So the last day, which is tomorrow of the day camp, is the prom.
That's perfect.
Oh, yeah. The whole story is incredible. How old are the kids in the day camp?
They range from, I want to say 13 till about 15, but we also have other outside youth that wanted to come. So they're about, I think, until 13 to 22. So right now it's all youth. I would love to go to an LGBTQ adult prom, but we'll see.
Well, you're going to do ours, right, Steve?
Come on, we're going to be doing ours. So.
Well, yeah, then. Yeah, I'm down there.
I'm totally going to make sure that you come and you can bring the date of your choice. We've had incredible things happen at our prom. Someone that came at, I think he was in his late 70s, came and shared that he had transitioned because he felt comfortable enough to do that because of us and came to the prom. We had 2 women get engaged.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't even know them, and they looked familiar, and then they come up and announce that they're getting. It's so amazing, right? When you do this stuff and you put it out there, it's incredible what happens. So this is the first prom that you're producing.
Right. Yes. Because I just started in February. I went from, before COVID, I went from working corporate retail, Ralph Lauren, Macys, and I had lost so many people during COVID that I needed to do something. And I was like, I have so much love in me. And I was here home for 11 months, stuck in my room. And I was like, what I'm doing, I can't go back into that building. First of all, it gave me the creeps.
I remember you were going to clean out your locker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so they were giving me the option to come back. And they said, well, we can hire you back in spring. And I don't want to go back in that building. And then I realized I was overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. So where can I get immediate appreciation when you work for the people? The people need. I was making the rich man richer, and I should have just been giving help to those who need. So I'm very happy now.
Now, what is it you do? Because you're organizing the prom. I mean, you're an outreach and special events coordinator. Is that right?
Well, yes. So the special events coordinator just happened because I'm good at it. But originally a health educator and outreach counselor. So we pretty much, teach people about STIs, how not to get them, how you could possibly get them. We can test you there, know your status so we can, and and the stigmas of HIV, and that if you do have HIV, it's not the end of the world as long as you stay in your regime. Undetectable equals untransmittable. We just give out the information and hope they'll take it with them and share it. But that's my first job. So in June, they had 3 different Pride events, one for Far Rockaway, one for Jamaica, and one for Woodside. The last 2 for Jamaica and Woodside is where I kind of put on a show, a big variety show for them. And I just taken the reins of doing the special events.
I totally love it. That variety show, wasn't Tim Moss in that show?
Tim Moss was the host, yes.
Tim Moss hosted it. Was Frankie Allday in that show?
Frankie Allday, Majori, Kenny Supreme.
Majori,
yeah. I think that may be all you know, but yeah, all these other, Joelle Feliciano. We have these 2 dancers. Satanya Face. Of course, she's amazing.
I talk to friends. We want to have Satanya on the show. She's
hilarious. You have to have her.
She is hilarious. But one of the things that's been so great, if you can say that there's something good that came out of the pandemic, I remember, Riqi, you were losing people left and right. Yeah. And the thing that happened with this pandemic, it really became like a them and us. There were the people that were still like living their best life and were totally unaffected. I was totally affected. I did not lose personally people like you did, but I was here in New York with refrigerator trucks and everything else. And I would see you, we would do these Zoom shows, Steven, these variety shows. And Riqi would talk about, he would dedicate his performances to people that he lost. I want to ask you, why do you think you knew so many people? Is it the part of New York you live in, or what do you think it is?
Since I've been in New York, so I've been in New York on and off for 20 years now. I came in 2001, July 3rd, 2001. Wow. And once 9/11 hit, everyone's like, you move out, come back. No, I'm not going to be terrorized. Right. So since then, I have had so many jobs, moving everywhere, getting to know. I worked for Crash. I worked at the Olive Garden. I worked at this little gate. I've worked everywhere. So having been everywhere, and also in between, then I moved to New Haven for a year, to Boston for a year, Wilton Manor for a year. So I know, I get around.
You even hit Wilton Manors, Florida, like.
I was a bouncer at Georgie's Alibi.
Of course, I know Alibi, right?
Love it. Yeah. So I know a lot of people, and that just happened. Like I like people. I like to meet them, and I'm the kind of person that if I say, "Oh, I'll call you," I'm gonna call you. And if I remember your name, it's because I genuinely like you. Right. If I don't, then sorry. If I don't call you.
The Riqi is not going to pick up the phone. Do not expect
No, I'll text you maybe. Right.
So you knew a lot of people in a lot of places, which is why you knew so many people that passed from this.
Yeah.
So when do you think it really, really hit you? When you went back into Macys, had you made up your mind you were leaving, or were you still undecided?
I made up my mind when, I stopped coming to work. I was sick. In March. I came to work March 16th, sick as hell. On the 17th, I called out and I was like, I'm not, because they hadn't shut us down yet. And then all of a sudden, later on that day, Macys closed down.
I remember.
Yeah. So I was sick as hell, and I was like, oh my God. And I'm a hypochondriac anyway. So all the symptoms, I was like, oh my God, I'm everything I had. And all my friends were like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're fine.
No, you did. I got sick too. It was like everybody in New York that had been, this is something I'm a little bitter about, and this Cuomo did a good job informing us every day. This has got nothing to do with all the other political stuff about Cuomo. I'm going to, zip my lip on that. But in terms of having somebody to at least tell us what was going on, that was good. But you know what, Riqi? You, me, and tons of people we knew here in New York all got sick because no one told us not to ride the subway. I was doing my life. I was a little more careful, but it's a flu. Oh, they're telling us this curve is coming and we got to flatten it. Did you understand what the hell they meant by flattening the curve?
No idea. I thought they were talking about me going on a diet. So I was like, really? They can see me? So I was like, yeah, we must all be.
That didn't seem appropriate to say, but.
However, yeah, I didn't know. So I was like, what? Why is everyone having masks? And it wasn't mandated yet. So no idea.
It wasn't. And, I would talk to Steven in Pennsylvania, which, seemed like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm to me, that other than, hearing about it and people in PA writing awful things about weekenders coming out and bringing the virus, you guys, it was relatively clean and safe and beautiful air to breathe, and you could hang outside your house and go for hikes. And I thought we were suffering here in the city. It was bad.
It was horrible.
I mean, it is amazing. I mean, because we're 90 miles away, and it felt like a complete world apart.
Honestly, Steven, it was a completely different world. And Riqi, I chose not to go out to Pennsylvania because I did get sick. And then I still picked up clients. Like in April, I started working again. I'm like, screw it. I'll get a mask. I don't care. If I can get booked, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to audition online. And I was also afraid to come out to PA because there were terrible things being written on Facebook about the New Yorkers, and they were come and bring the virus, and everyone was going to get sick because of us. And I thought, they carry guns in Pennsylvania. I'm like, God damn, I do not want to be shot at. So there you have it. But, your story is so interesting to me because you had a complete about face, losing people. And you had worked in retail for how long?
At that place, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
That's
I have done it before, but 10 years, at Macys, that's hard. That's like hard time.
So a question for you, how is it different working for a nonprofit than a for-profit? And I also will say, are there any unique challenges to working for a nonprofit?
Yeah, that's good.
So because I'm new to it, I am learning still that nonprofit, you must have a lot of patience. And I don't have any of that. I could never be a doctor. I have no patience.
Riqi Vélez is on a short fuse.
Honey, oh gosh. So it is all the drama, all the stress, everything. It's worth it because you do get thanks. You get it right there. And it may not be in a paycheck form. It may just be an email someone sent you, or a hug, or looking into someone's eyes. That's a payment. And to me, that payment will last from here until forever. Money can come and go, but that feeling, you will always have it with you.
Yeah.
I share. We TriVersity tabled an event today with children and youth services here in Pike County. They were doing a backpack drive. And I mean, it's just so wonderful when you meet people and, they're learning about us and they're like, oh my gosh, we've never heard of you. And we're going to bring so-and-so. And it's like, well, that's why you do this kind of work,
Yeah.
It
is.
It's also what Riqi was saying, and you've gotten them, Steven, the emails from people, those just really great emails thanking you for the information or for listening, or even being able to, with our trans community, being able to help in terms of getting people to the right doctor. Being able to get them to the correct lawyer. One of the things I love about the show is that we have those people on, the doctors and the lawyers, and how cool to be able, what I'm saying, to connect the whole thing. Yeah. It's really, really amazing.
Yep.
So you're Ecuadorian. Yes. And how old were you when you came to this country?
Oh, no, I was born and raised here. I was born in Queens. Here. Yeah, so born in Queens, 8 years old, moved to North Carolina, to Charlotte, then 23, even though I'm only 28 now, lies. And I moved here in 2001. So do the math. I can't.
Yeah, I get it. It's too confusing, and you did it really quick, so no one could do the math.
Carry the one, yeah.
Right.
I always say, I just celebrated the 15th anniversary of my 28th birthday in May, so.
I'm adding 15 to 28. I think I'm on the right, and I'm doing it on my fingers.
Oh, honey, take your shoes off. You get there easier.
Class of 96 or class of 97?
96, yeah.
Yeah, we had just missed going to high school together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's being younger.
How dare you? I could never be seen with the underclassmen. No, I wasn't like that.
Yeah. Too funny. So, Your parents, are you first generation born here?
Yeah, they're from back in Guayaquil. And my mom came here when she was 9 with her mother, 2 brothers and father. And my dad came here when he was 19. And their story is what I love and what I wish was still today. They met. A month later, got engaged.
Wow.
6 months later, got married, and they've been together this year for 49 years.
That's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I love them.
So when you were growing up, like, when did you realize you were gay?
Oh, that has to have been when I was 5. Not because of gay sex, but there was a guy who I liked.
Yeah, your first guy crush at 5.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it was crazy, and yeah, I had a crush on him, and that's all I knew. I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't know what it meant. I just thought, I had a bunch of girl cousins, and I had sisters, so I wasn't like I was like around too many guys. My dad was always working. My grandfather worked also, so not too many boys growing up. But hey.
Right, and your first crush at 5 years. So, how old were you when you came out?
19 years old. I was at a Southern Baptist private university, which I am neither of the above. And
that's a heavy duty environment to come out of, by the way, but go on.
Yeah.
Now, Riqi, was that Gardner-Webb? Is that what you...
Gardner-Webb University in Ballin Springs.
Wendy, that's
don't speak Southern.
where I'm from.
It's where you're from, Steven. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How funny.
Springs. Yeah. I came out to a couple of classmates or school students first, and then I decided to come out to my mom because I've never like hidden anything like that from them. So I came out to them like in a 9-page front and back letter and asked her. That's back when not typing but actual handwritten.
Oh, wow.
Right back in the day. So yeah, I wrote it to my mom, and they never responded to us. Like a month later, I'm like, so did you get the letter? And she's like, yeah, like no big deal. As long as you don't hurt yourself or anybody else, do what you got to do.
Well, you could have wrote me that,
right? Something.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a really great positive story. Yeah, I know you were at a Southern Baptist University. Were your parents Catholic?
Yeah, still are.
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Catholic and Latino that's tough environment to come out in. Yeah. So this story that you're telling us here is really great that you had the support. And I'm sure your sisters were all on board.
Yeah. Now, well, yes and no.
Yeah. Now, what led you to Gardner-Webb?
Scholarship.
Okay.
Show me the money.
Yeah, like music though.
Yes, okay. Music, and I would have been the first class. I didn't finish. I would have been the first class of their musical theater program.
The first, wow, that's so cool. So, were you the little kid that was entertaining the family all the time?
Me and my sisters and my cousin will always put on these, which now I realized it was pre-drag, but we would play music and either sing or lip sync. I did all that.
I love it.
Whitney Houston, all these things, and I was like, that was early drag without the drag. But yeah, so we used to always do that, and fun.
So fun, so funny, right? You didn't even realize that you were actually doing drag at the time.
Lip syncing.
So you could do the whole thing. When did you realize you had a voice?
I didn't. Okay, so we've seen Sister Act Part 1. I always loved singing, right? 9th grade. Picture it, Sicily. No. So 9th grade, my choir teacher, there was an audition to be in the choir, and I was like, I want to sing. And I've always loved singing, but hidden. I sang a song. I sang She's Like the Wind, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, that's a great. I love that song.
But I was singing like this. She's like the wind. And he was like, no, I need you to sing. And he put his hand on my diaphragm. It was safe. And he pushed in, and you heard me across campus. People were in the lobby waiting for the next person to come. And they're like, we heard you all the way out here. And I was like, oh my God. So since then, you couldn't get me to shut up now, honey.
Can you sing that one line for us right now?
Mm-hmm. She's like the wind through my trees. She rides the night next to me.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right, Steven? An incredible voice. The first time I heard Riqi live, it was before the pandemic. It was at Stonewall.
Yeah.
And we did Chauncey Dandridge's show there, Freak Out. And that was the very first time I heard you. I was doing a piece I wrote that night called Ghosted.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that.
Uh-huh.
And you got up and you did that number. And I'm like, God damn, she can sing.
I've always loved singing. I'm a belter, so that's why I moved to New York. Initially, I was a Rent head, and I wanted to audition for Rent. I was like, I got to do it. So I auditioned for them 10 times and got 3 callbacks.
Wow.
So I mean, were you auditioning for any particular part, or were you just auditioning?
I wanted Roger.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was never considered, like it's callbacks. Who knows what they consider me for, but they liked the voice clearly for 3 callbacks. Bernard Telsey.
You got the callbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. And I'm going to ask you, do you intend going forward to go out for things?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really important because I totally believe in your talent and your type. You're a good type. What did you call yourself? A towering
Ecuadorian. Gay, yeah. I am. I'm tall, 6'2".
You are.
People always tell me in pictures, like on Tinder, they're like, "Oh, you look short." Meanwhile, 6'2" is right there. Then I meet them and they're like, "God, Sarah!" But I'm like, it's right there. So
I didn't lie. Steven, can we play Riqi's clip?
Well, yes, but just to preface it, so we're going to give y'all some Christmas magic in August because Riqi has so many great clips, but Wendy fell in love with this particular clip. And I won't say what song because you'll know within like 3 words, but let's kick it off.
Okay, thanks, Steven.
The stars are brightly shine. It is a night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error. And the song felt its way. A thrill of the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. When Christ was born, oh night divine, oh night divine.
Wow. Always makes me cry each and
Aw.
every time. I have to talk to you about this video.
Technical problems.
It's okay. You're doing great, Stephen.
Testicle
Stephen is
difficulty.
really technically gifted. I'm technically challenged.
Yeah,
It's very difficult to call somebody technically gifted when they bought something, you know?
None of
all
it's easy. Riqi, why? Now, I know you made that piece for Chauncey Dandridge's Freak Out show. It was the holiday edition.
Yeah.
What made you take the direction that you did? You made the video. It's
Mhm.
incredible video. Tell me what was behind it.
It's even though it's Christmas, not everybody is a Christian. Some people are Jewish, some people are not, what have you. It's still like the season to give, the season to stop and think that be grateful for what you have, but don't forget others don't have. So I feel like it's the season to give, even though you give all year round, but it's the better season to give because it for us at least, it's freaking cold outside, and there's tons and tons of homeless people who don't have coats. So that's why I have that part towards the end of the video, because they don't have food, they don't have coats, and even though they're trying to build more shelters, you have people in the neighborhood saying we don't want them here. Well, where the hell are they going to go then?
Right.
That's not
living
fair.
on the streets. I mean,
Right.
I was in Times Square yesterday, walking over the now, like they just passed out in the middle. They're living literally sleeping on the street in the middle of the sidewalk. We've become like a country in the developing world here.
Yeah.
It's so unacceptable.
Yeah. They have nowhere to go. They were kicked out of the hotels when they were being quarantined, and they have nowhere to go.
Right. And I don't know that I'm hoping our newest mayor, when we get the new mayor, will clean things up for the homeless in this city. I've never seen a New York that's looked like this before. It's really, really very, very upsetting.
Yeah, it's sad.
In the video, I got all of those messages, but whether you intended to or not, one of the greater messages for me was you start off with the image of the domed restaurants. It looked throughout the video like if you see the crowds of people and you don't see the masks or whatever, you can kind of pretend it's Rockefeller Center at Christmas time. But having those plastic domed restaurants, that's the part I lose it at every single time. Oh, holy night that such a thing could have happened on this earth.
Yeah. It's still, I mean, when it first started happening, I felt like we were living in a sci-fi movie, and I was like, this is not real. This cannot be real. The whole world, come on.
Right. But in spite of everything, we still had Oh Holy Night. I mean, I thought it especially important this past holiday. Richard was like, why are we putting up all this stuff?
I'm so glad you did.
Never gonna use it. And I said, this is more important than ever to honor the traditions of the holiday and, to honor that with beautiful rendition of Oh Holy Night. I mean, just reminds us that even in the face of the worst, we can still lift ourselves up.
Amen.
Right. And your trees, Stephen, were beautiful. And you had little children visit your house.
Oh.
Even though you had 2 kids come and visit during Christmas.
Oh, did we? I can't remember.
Yeah,
They were elves. They're
very cute. And because I know I was over and I came to your house because it made me feel good that you had I wasn't feeling Christmas.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Right. I wasn't feeling Christmas at all. And you guys, Riqi, they go all out every year. But the fact that they went, and there was like beautiful decorations everywhere, but the fact that you went out this year, I remember sitting in your living room, Stephen, thinking, oh my God, this is so great. And then those little kids, you had gifts for them and everything. And I thought, wait a minute, Wendy, you were all bummed out about Christmas. These little children don't know. They're opening their gifts and they're loving the trees, and it's business as usual for them. So that's something that we have to remember, that holy night is going to exist no matter what, no matter what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. And when you have somebody who's able to sing "Oh Holy Night," well, it can really fill you with the spirit, because that is one of those songs that where you bomb, you bomb.
Oh God, yeah, it
Especially
is hard.
when you play the second half, and that can be where everything goes wrong. I have a question for you. As someone, I am definitely not as talented as you, but I like to sing. But how do you deal with hearing yourself sing?
I'm very strict. I'm very much a perfectionist. Like when I am horrible, people can come up to me and I could have done the best job, and they're like, "Oh my God, Riqi, that's so good," and I'm like, "I messed up, blah 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 blah," and they won't know, but I know I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So that small half a second that I messed up, I'm down on myself on, which is horrible. I'm trying to not do that anymore, and I should just enjoy the joy that I gave somebody for the rest of the song. But no, I'm very particular, and it brings me down. It's horrible, but yeah, I just let it go. Husa.
That's the process, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Steven, you have an incredible voice. Deep. Steven has an amazing, amazing voice. And both of you need to realize the joy that you can bring to someone just by singing.
Yeah,
and I'm a person that can actually say that, because I cannot sing my way out of a shower. And Steven knows we've done talent shows together. And I'm so impressed, and I admire anyone that it's a gift to be able to sing like that. You can't be taught that. It's just, you can cultivate it. You can find styles that you identify with, but it's not something that you can be taught. It's an instrument that comes from the heavens.
I when it comes to singing, my theory is everybody can sing. Like, everyone can cook, everyone can sing. You just have to be trained, and you have to want to be able to sing. When I was in second grade, PS 95,
PS 86, by the way. Go on.
I was in a glee club back then, before Glee was Glee. Yeah, and I was made fun of because I couldn't hold a tune in a bucket. So after that, I decided I want to sing, because singing made me happy. So I took my little red boombox, which is about this big, and went to bed every night playing the radio, and I would imitate people on the radio. And that's how I kind of taught myself to sing. I would record music and then in private copy them, because apparently they were on the radio, so they had something. So copy them, and then I just taught myself to sing. And like I said, with his name is Donald Eugene Chisholm, my choir director in 9th grade. Bless his heart, he's passed away now. He helped me by showing me how to belt. And like I said, I haven't shut up since then.
You've been belting since I met you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to try it at this stage of the game, and I'm going to let you know if it works.
Absolutely.
Steven, when's our next talent show?
No time soon.
You got time. You got plenty of time.
You got plenty of time.
Oh my! And Riqi, we must have you on our next talent show.
Sure. Why not?
Most definitely. So, you mentioned Tinder. What's Riqi Vélez's love life like?
Null and void. It's null and I haven't, and it's been
good. Everybody who's listening out there, he's gorgeous. He can sing. He's got a huge heart. Okay, and he's towering.
I'm towering. I'm 6'2", 200 pounds, olive tone. I have hair down to the top of my ass. No,
he does have incredibly beautiful hair. Riqi Vélez is a catch. You heard it right here on TriVersity Talk.
You need a big glove to catch me, though. So chubby love, y'all. Chubby love.
We double as a dating show when we need to do that. So, how long was your longest relationship?
It was my first, which wasn't really a relationship, but it was to me because it mattered. 5 years. I was 11. 5 years.
Wow. You were 11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We were together for 5 years, but not because we were dating, but because we were together. That was like my best friend at the time that I happened to be in 11-year-old love with, and we were intimate. So I thought in my heart it was a relationship. But,
was he gay?
Is that the person you were going to go to prom with?
That's the person I was watching dancing with his girlfriend, who she's gorgeous, but I had him. She didn't have him, but whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then did you have a long relationship after that?
The longest I want to say is 2.5 years. I have been in a couple of, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So I have been in a couple of domestic violence, and that was one of them. Yeah.
Wow, Riqi, I had no idea. Do you think a lot of that has got to do with why you've gone into the non-for-profit world and want to help so much?
I think so. Part of it, but it's also like for me, it's about the reason I went into that field is because I want to leave a mark. Like when you're dead, like my friends, ooh, I'm getting emotional. When you're dead, ooh, I know this is like Oprah, right?
I was crying during your video. Why should I be the only one crying?
When my friends passed away, I have these beautiful memories of them. And I'm like, what memories can I give? And what's the positive? What am I putting back into the earth? I want to be able to touch people, not only with my voice, but I want to touch them with I have so much, and I'm single. So it's like, I have enough love to give. It's not going to a man. So I want to make sure to leave a positive mark. When I leave, I want people to say, Riqi did this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're talking about doing it in 2 areas. All right. You're working with non-for-profits. You're touching people's lives there, and you're going to touch a lot of people with your voice.
Oh, thank you.
You know, and what you do with that, okay, performance wise. Do you consider yourself religious?
I don't, because in my belief, religion is man-made. I'm more spiritual. I was raised Catholic. Then I dabbled in Wicca, Buddhism, and I just found myself loving LBJ, little baby Jesus. I love Jesus, but I did not agree with a lot of things that's happening in denominations, Catholicism, Baptist. And what was told to me was, you can't be a Christian unless you believe everything in the Bible. I don't believe everything in the Bible. I don't, because translations and stuff. So abomination has been translated so many times. So it's like, I love Jesus. This I know, because I know so, period. And like I still wear my rosaries because I love Catholicism, but yeah, I'm Christ-based, but I also have like different Buddhist belief and different pagan beliefs that
we're very similar in that way. I mean, you know, I know Jesus existed. That I know. I was raised half Jewish, half Protestant, and then my parents became Christian Scientists. That's a very out there religion. Is all. I mean, it's got things that are very valid, like every religion.
Mm-hmm.
I spent time in Africa, which really totally turned my head around to more traditional religions and opened me up spiritually. Like you said, Buddhism, all of it. You can, you know, it's like a poo-poo platter out there.
Yeah.
And choose. You have to choose what works for you. We've done a lot of really great shows on this TriVersity Talk about religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had incredible people on here.
Well, you know, I mean, as LGBTQ folks, and as you said, we have to deal with the abomination. And so a lot of us have soured on religion, or at least specific religions. And so religion's especially important for a show about education on this show. I mean, just so many of us have been burned out. And to try to find a spiritual path in the face of that is extremely difficult.
Amen. I agree.
We're the name of a group that Steven has put together is called SOS, which means
sharing our spirit. We have a humanist rabbi, Frank Tamburello. He leads a discussion group that we have with the organization, and you're not, you know, no need to be any particular religious background. Right. And we just talk, you know, and so
is it virtual?
You can bring in your religious tradition if you want, as long as you're not, you know,
force feeding. Right.
Yeah. So
Is it virtual?
Are we going to be doing it virtual too this time, or just live?
We're just going to do it in person this time. We started this during the pandemic because we figured that would be a time when people need spiritual discussion. But yeah, now we're going to do it live.
That's awesome.
Maybe going forward, we'll do some virtual ones too, because Riqi, you would probably like to jump on.
Yeah, of course. I would love to. I led a Christianity versus what is it? Why do Christians hate gays? Seminar a couple of months ago before I did that, and I just researched why Christians hate gays and why gays are scared to be Christian. And I gave a lot of information. Everything was facts, nothing opinion wise, but people liked it.
Could you share some of that with us?
Well, yeah, because Christians weren't always the big group. Christians were always the small group at first, and everybody hated them. They were persecuted first. So, it's like, oh, really? Now I'm the big man, so I'm going to kick your butt.
Right.
And, a lot of the hocus pocus that Christianity has comes from paganism. And so because of that, because like, wait, you're taking my stuff and using it for your book? And the whole thing about the men being invocated with the Holy Spirit, and that's how they wrote the Bible. A lot of the government wasn't involved in it, and then the government came in there. So
see, I don't know any of this.
I mean, I will say, I think a lot of social justice warriors are now trying to take back Christianity, which I think initially started as almost a social justice movement for, people that weren't as well off, and you were fighting against the establishment. And now all of a sudden you have to have social justice warriors within religion to do that same thing and to affirm and show love to LGBTQ folks.
Yeah.
Well,
my church is all about social justice. We're very, very much activists. Middle Collegiate Church. It's on the corner of 2nd and 7th. It burnt down December 5th. So we're trying to rebuild. So
Riqi, I didn't know that was your church. My Wednesday show, I broadcast live from Pangea, and I go past the shell of what that church was. I didn't know it was your church.
Yeah.
That was so tragic.
It was absolutely, and it still hurts to know that we cannot go back to that. But the church itself is not the building, it's the people, and the people, we're still virtually always, every Sunday, we have groups, we meet up on Zoom. So, yeah.
Do you think going forward, you're going to find another live place to meet that's not virtual? It's important for people, especially in this area, to see each other for real now, I think.
Yes, I think this past Sunday, I didn't do it because I'm lazy. I think this past Sunday, they all met up at Thompson Square Park. I want to say, I didn't go, like I said. I was like, oh, Sunday, I'm sitting in bed drinking coffee, watching y'all. They're on YouTube. They're on, StreamYard, this whole thing. So.
Wow. So you couldn't get out of bed to go to church, Riqi. Is that what you're saying?
Back in the day, yes.
You are a lazy ass.
It's only one train. You take the 6 down to Astor.
That's right.
If I was performing in there, yes, because we used to have to do that, go to both services. However, I don't have to now. No, I'm sitting here. My communion is a cup of coffee, so I'm good.
Good to go. So
that should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, really.
Communion is a cup of coffee.
Amen.
Steven, you those up for our TriVersity T-shirts.
I will tell our merchandise designer, please make that a shirt.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. So these days, between the pandemic and everything else, and it does seem like there's less virtual shows now. Where I know you work during Pride, but what's your plan? Your performance plan?
Well, next. On the 14th, Evan Lawrence, a friend of ours, he is.
I was supposed to do that show, and I'm doing a fashion show out in Milford. That I produce. So, let's talk about Evan Lawrence's show, because we've had Evan on here.
Yeah,
we love Evan Lawrence, wonderful performer. So you're going to be doing his show August 14th.
Yes, 14th. It is the Grove Street stop and on the PATH train. The 14th, I believe it starts at 11. I want to say 11 to 3. But yeah, me, Frankie, all day's going to be there. Kenny Supreme. Clover. That's right. Tim Moss. See, I didn't read the list.
I think Tim is. Yeah, because my friends, I was so bummed. But when this came about, I had committed. We do this wonderful, I call it a gender bender fashion show. It's really great. And it's in Milford at a place called the Phoenix. Doug Kosh runs it. We build a runway. We have male and female clothes, female and male clothes, anyone that's in between and whatever clothes they want. The clothes are all fun and vintage, and everyone has a great time. But I'll be thinking of all of you.
Yeah,
and oh my God, we have to mention who the headliner is for Evan's show. Riqi, you know who the headliner is, right?
Remind me, because I looked real quick. I was like, okay, 14th.
Right.
I'm sorry, Evan.
You look real quick. I'm in it. That's all.
I was honest. I was like, is my name good? Is it spelled right?
I was about to say I'm the headliner.
I was like, well, my name was in yellow.
Like, Evan, what time am I going on? Who am I?
I did ask him that. I said, do you have the lineup yet? No, it's all right. Because there was another show I wanted to do. It's a back to school show, but it's in the East Village. So I was like, all right, no, Evan first.
Yeah. Oh my God. We just adore Evan. So the headliner, which I'm proud to say here, is Felipe Rose with his new dance single, Dance Again, which is very hot, very cool. Love Felipe.
Awesome.
And for anyone that's in the Jersey area, it's on the Grove Street station stop, Jersey City. Going to be a great time. Really wonderful talent. So that's something really cool to look forward to. Now, I always ask talent this, do you have a 5-year plan for your performing career? That's too much for Riqi Vélez.
I'm going to open up Star Search again and be the new Ed McMahon. No, I'm going to audition as much as I can wherever available. However, I hear bad news about like we might possibly be closing down. Hopefully not, knock on wood. So, but yeah, audition my ass off and write as much. Somebody hit me up on Instagram. They want me to write a song for their 4-year-old son, 2-minute song for their 4-year-old son. And I'm working on that. I have not my movie, Lourdes Biggio has a short independent film called Love is Love, and I play the gay bestie in there. That's going to come out. Yeah.
Oh, you have to let us know. When is that coming out?
I have to let you know. That's me too. I'll find out. And when it does, trust me.
You'll be the first to know.
It's exclusive.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
We have the exclusive on it. So, that's a bunch of things to really look forward to. When New York shut down, there was a site on Facebook. I used to be a performer and now I'm left with this big gaping hole. It was something like that. Steven, how funny is that?
That's funny.
I mean, it was funny and yet tragic at the same time. And of course, I immediately became a member of it because everything I was booked for, I became unbooked for.
Yeah.
My biggest client was like, see you in September and right. And then they made it January and then it was not at all. All right. So I, like so many performers, had to reinvent myself. If someone had told me I was going to do shows on Zoom, I would have told them they were on crack. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm not doing any shows on Zoom. So as human beings, we find out that we have much stronger depths inside of us than we ever thought we had when we're forced to. But anybody will tell you there's nothing like a live audience.
Amen. Please, especially if you're doing it on Zoom and you don't hear the applaud, you're like, did I mess up? What's wrong? Was it really bad?
Well, yeah. Well, Ike Fidelity, whose show is going to be on Saturday night, 50 Shades of Gay. Oh, God, I'm plugging everyone. 50
Absolutely.
Shades of Gay at the Triad, 7:00. There are still a few tickets left. When we interviewed him, that's one of the things, especially for a stand-up comedian, like not having the feedback. With singing, you can just belt it out and give it out there.
Right.
Stand-up is like, you tell the joke, you wait for the feedback. You tell the joke, you wait for the feedback.
Right.
You're getting crickets when you're on.
Yeah. And it's awkward. Your stomach start getting all, I couldn't.
Somebody should come up with that. I just thought of a great app. Oh my God. I'm so technically brilliant. How about an app that you can key into your performance, like if you're a stand-up, where it has fake applause on it?
I bet that app is out there somewhere,
probably,
especially after the pandemic.
It should be.
It should be just like an app to keep people going through the whole thing.
They also need the ching, the
yeah, right. Wait, you could even ride with me on this one. You could even have a heckler on it.
Get off the stage. What?
You're terrible.
That's
Get
so
off the
neat.
stage. So, Riqi, we always like to ask people as we move on in the show, what messages do you want to share with people out there? This is your moment to shine.
What messages? In any way, shape, or form, God is real. Love is real. Love yourself first, always, and life will be easier once you love yourself. I feel. I didn't love myself for a long time, and I'm starting to. I am not at 100, but like I'm at 70, and it's so much better once you love yourself. So love yourself no matter what.
I'm going to ask you the question then. How did you learn to love yourself? That's a biggie.
Therapy. Do not look down on. I love my therapist. I love her.
I love you sharing that because we find that out. And yes, I 150% agree.
Yeah. I think everyone needs one. Like, even if you think you're okay, you're probably not. And it's okay.
I always say people should be assigned a therapist at birth, because I think the world is a much better place.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Maybe not 100 years ago, but I got to tell you, this world that we're in, even prior to the pandemic,
yeah,
man, it is rough stuff.
Yeah.
And you're constantly getting things thrown at you where you're forced to cope, right? You're expected to cope.
Yeah.
And there's so much judgment in this country about, people's mental states and people judging them on it, which no one has any right to do that.
Right.
I so strongly believe, and I've always believed it, but especially because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation with many people. I personally feel I was completely damaged by the pandemic. And people say to me, "You've thrived." Yes, I have thrived, but I am totally damaged. I will never be the same again. How can you look at what's happened in the world?
Yeah.
And how can any of us ever be the same again? Can we really go back to the lives that we had before? I came out of this thing. I was outspoken before, much more outspoken. And that goes for my model agents or my talent agents. And maybe I'll be the person that's the diva or the pain in the ass. Okay. But if I feel now, if something's wrong, I'm going to speak up about it.
Life is short. You should. Yeah.
Something really wrong happened in our world. And here we all are, and we're left to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see some billboards like, do you need to talk to someone? Call 1-800. Our counselors are standing by. I don't see money being put out there where they can fund tons of mental health programs, because a lot of people cannot afford a therapist.
Yeah.
And I think the human race right now, we all need someone to hold our hand.
Amen. I agree.
You know?
Especially during the pandemic, everyone realized that, mental health issues are real. Like, everybody who never had anxiety, all of a sudden you have anxiety. That means you had it a while back too, boo. It was just at a minimum.
Right.
But the pandemic just magnified it. So
yeah, it magnified everything. It ramped it up,
I mean, on the mental health front, I think these past 2 weeks have really ramped up the discussion of mental health with Simone Biles and, and what she dealt with. And was she a quote quitter, or was mental health an injury just like any other sort of injury?
Thank you for saying it. Right. Like twisting your ankle on the balance beam. And she definitely did shine a light on it. But I feel we live in such a commercial Kardashian, I only care about myself. No, I'm not my brother's keeper.
Yeah.
We live in that kind of world. And personally, I feel that is what has to change. Are we going to be kinder because of this? Are we going to be more tolerant? I can't 100% answer that. I still see garbage on Facebook that just absolutely makes me insane that people can write that after all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes I think self-love means being able to figure out a way to put that on the back burner, take care of yourself, and then spread that light and love into the world. It's what we have to do. And I heard somebody say, like, talking about self-love, because some people are like, well, is that selfishness? And it's like, no, it's kind of like what they tell you on the airplane, where when the oxygen mask falls, which that's never something.
Brilliant. What a brilliant metaphor.
Put the mask on first before you put on somebody else's. If you don't take care of yourself and love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else?
Amen.
Amen.
Can I get an amen?
Incredible metaphor that you're a smart guy.
Oh, aren't I just genius? But Riqi, so how can people learn more about you?
You go to your library in the bathroom, second stall to the left, tap 3 times on the ceiling,
If
twice
you
on
want
the
to
pipe.
be.
Right. You can Google R Vélez music altogether. RVELEZ music for those who can't hear, but why would they be watching? And just Google that, R Vélez music, and you'll find me. There's only one. Thank God.
Yeah, because it's Riqi with a Q.
Yes, RIQI.
Yeah.
And then
Ooh,
here's a few little links. So
There you go, Riqi. We're going to dig up everything about you.
Is my Pornhub up on there? No, it's not. No. My OnlyFans? Because I only have one.
Hey,
No.
do you want to post that account? Steven can find all this. He's really good at it.
Riqi made it very easy, because it was like a signature to your email had like that. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
there
Because you
go.
never know, and it's horrible, especially back in the day when I was like hitting the emails on Craigslist. They don't do that anymore. It was like, oh my God, they have my real information. They know who I am. No, bueno.
Well, Riqi, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for watching. As always, we appreciate you, and we definitely look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you
Riqi,
so much for
let's
having
hang
me.
out for a second after we go off, because Mama likes to take a picture.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
See
guys.
you all next
Yeah,
week.
and good night.
Good night.